Welcome to The Other Side of the Bridge with Iron City Paranormal, where they discuss real investigations, first-hand experiences, unexplained moments, and everything that happens when you step off the regular path and onto the other side of the bridge. Just honest paranormal talk, Iron City Paranormal style. And now, here are your hosts, Derek Smith and Dan Metelsky.
Hey, yins, guys. Welcome back to The Other Side of the Bridge with Iron City Paranormal. With me, as always, Derek Smith, sitting to my right on the screen, and Aaron Rose on the bottom of the screen. Guys, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you for joining us once again. Tonight, we are talking about something that really, I'm going to be honest with you guys, it pisses me off, is whenever we get evidence contamination. So, guys, how have you been?
Good. Getting excited for this weekend, man.
Yes, absolutely.
We got Fairfield coming up.
We have a big investigation coming up. It's going to be a return to a place that absolutely scared the living heck out of me the last time we were there.
As we've talked about over and over again, there's a reason this place sticks out to us, you know?
And Aaron, it'll be your first time there.
Yeah.
It'll be everybody's first time there. It was just me and you the first time around.
Well,
that probably added to it, right?
I totally get that, but I'm super excited to have Aaron go because we've talked so much about it, you know, over the last how many years, and I'm ready for you to experience it because it's a really neat place.
Yeah, I'll be really curious
excited.
what you
really
feel
excited
about it.
Yeah.
And I'm excited that other people are going too, because they're actually going to, we're kind of like going to relive it. Like when we go through on the walkthrough, like we always, like when we go back places, we say, we don't need the tour again. We got that the last time, right? But it'll be kind of fun to go through it again and
I
kind
think
of be reminded of all this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
So tonight we're talking about evidence contamination. The specific reason this one came up was actually Fairfield County was one of the places where we had something happen that we were positive for about 20 to 30 minutes that it was, paranormal. And it turned out to be Derek kicking a ball. So we'll get into that later.
Not the only one I screwed up, by the way.
It was not. Derek screws up a lot. We should have named this episode "It Was Derek."
That would have been appropriate.
Contaminated evidence. ... It was Derek.
My walking, my cracking feet. What do you want?
Oh, it was so much. It was so much.
Well,
so
before we get into it, I do want to just take a quick minute here. Two of our regular viewers, my nephews, Parker and Carter, gave me a early birthday present, and they know me very well. I don't know how well you can see them, but these two crystals, they will be coming with us on these ghost investigations. But I just want to give them a shout out and thank them for getting me this early birthday present before this investigation. So it was perfect timing.
Very nice. My birthday's in November, guys. If you want to offer some stuff to me, let me get this right. Aaron and I went over crystals while you were on hiatus. So the one on the left brings the ghost to your bedroom. The one on the right makes it take up residence in your butt.
Absolutely. You got to go up. That's why this one's shaped like this.
Okay. So bedroom.
That might be too much. We might have to edit that one out.
No. I was just Aaron, I don't know if you heard that. We were just going over what his crystals do.
I came in on the tail part of that conversation.
Perfect timing.
All right,
so Derek got new crystals, and we were just discussing them and how great they are for bringing the ghost to his house, and then getting them to take up residence inside his body.
Yeah,
sounds about
which one does which? We'll find out.
I guess we'll find out.
We'll talk. Okay, so guys, today on the episode, we're talking about, again, evidence contamination. It can mean many different things. The way that we started doing all of this, evidence contamination actually was something that we picked up on before we actually knew what it was called or had like a technical, so to speak, name for it, which was we were going places and we were eating barbecue before we would go, and we would fart during investigations, or our stomachs would like digest, and then we would later be Derek would be listening to the evidence, and he would specifically like send me messages like, "Oh, like listen to this.
We got a growl, man.
We have a growl, or we have like some demonic presence." And it was, and I
Yeah, you do.
At the time, like we didn't understand. We didn't really understand like what we were doing at all. But I do remember thinking to myself, yeah, I know I farted when we were in that room. Like, so that's where
it shows you how strong these recording devices and cameras can be.
Yeah, there you go.
It's incredible. For like a $30 voice recorder on Amazon, the stuff picks up everything.
So we keyed a term for that before it was called evidence contamination, and we've stuck with it.
We did. It's called I Smell a Demon, and that was our way of calling out to future Derek when he listens to evidence that one of us passed wind while investigating.
Passed wind. That's the nicest way you've ever said that.
Isn't it though?
We tooted. We tooted it as my.
Now there's your daddy
says.
voice comes out. Yeah.
I was gonna say that's very much her vibe. So when we put this together, I kind of came up with this idea, or not even come up with the idea, but kind of like that thought-provoking statement of, are ghosts real, or are we making them up and pushing them into existence? And that's something I want to talk about as we get on with this. And, it's something that we can talk a lot about later on in future episodes, because we can go down so many rabbit holes with that.
We can go deep with that one. Absolutely. Yeah.
So underneath it all, I mean, we have to be careful whenever we investigate, because we are investigators. We are driven by evidence, especially with our social media presence, which we just crossed 3,000 followers on Facebook. For us, that's big. For some people, that's not, right? So like and subscribe to this episode. If you want to hear more,
you're going to freaking say
it. Smash that like button. If you want to follow along for more fart talk and more ghost talk.
Man, I got to tell you something.
In between.
I've been getting messages from people because they know how annoyed I am with it. They just said, "Hey, I smashed that like button."
I know.
Look what we did.
You look like an annoyed 8th grader whenever I say smash that like button. You're like,
every time. I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop anytime soon.
Well, and for that reason, I am not going to stop either. And,
you're welcome.
And one day, Aaron will start saying it with me.
We need T-shirts when that happens.
I'm keeping track. I think we're at 3 so far.
We have a dream, Aaron, and that involves you saying, "Smash that like button, follow along." So again, being investigators, we want evidence. We want to show people what we experienced, or at least that's the way we were driven for quite some time, right?
Sure.
We were, you, Derek, especially, and this is not a shot at you at all.
No, right? It's the growth aspect of it, right?
It is the growth aspect. We were very, very keen to show it on film. I wasn't, because I was the one like leading the talks, and you were the one behind the camera making it happen.
Early on when it was, I mean, we started with a decent sized group and it dwindled down, and we started adding more people here and there, but through and through, you basically were the one that was talking, right? Like you were the lead. There was no help from me. And
I was the only professional investigator that we had on our team of 2.
All I was the videographer. I had the camera and I was like, I want the evidence. I want something to happen, and I want it on tape or video tape. Jeez, what's tape? I want it on the camera. I want it on audio.
I wanted it on a CD.
Right. What's that? But that's exactly, you're right. I mean, that's exactly how it was for the longest time. And that's how some of my screw ups ended up happening, because I was always on the move, right? I wasn't paying attention to the experience. I wasn't in the moment. And I will say that I've learned so much since we put that down.
And you've not only learned about investigating, but I think you've also learned a lot about yourself and your ability to tap into some things as well, right? Absolutely. When you stop staring at the screen, then you notice your ears ringing. Then you notice those tickles, right? Then you notice those interactions with things when we didn't before. before. So we're going to talk about all of that stuff eventually. Maybe
Again, that could be a whole nother episode if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is. This is not easy to come up with episodes all the time. So like, let's save that one. Let's put it in our pocket.
This is a door opener right here.
Yep.
So again, we've been driven by catching the face in the window. And we'll talk about that kind of stuff. We'll talk about, EVPs that didn't exist that we forced, right? That were actually just people talking. We'll talk about unexplained noises. We'll talk about, shadow figures that we caught on camera that really weren't shadow figures. All of these things to say, this stuff's not easy.
Right. Well,
There's so much of our investigation we spend figuring out what it isn't.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
I mean, especially now, you can, ask most people that come with us. I'm the one that's on my hands and knees trying to find where these electrical outlets could be to set these things off or whatever. We have videos 15, 20 minutes long of trying to debunk things and prove that they're not something before we actually say, yeah, okay, this is something unexplained. But everything that we've done, we don't want to be those people on TV. We don't want to be those guys that are making these stories up. So we try to do everything we possibly can to rule things out before we call them something else. And these aspects of contamination, like you're saying, audio, visual, any of these things, they mess the entire thing up. It can mess the investigation up. It can give you false positives. It can just, ultimately it can lead you down a rabbit hole during an investigation that's not actually there.
So let's think, what is the strongest piece of evidence that you guys can think that we have? Whatever it may be, whether it's an EVP, whether it's a video.
I'd say I can think of a few. I can think of the Gettysburg drums. I can think of the Gillhouse peekaboo guy. I can think of a few like that. Just off the top of my head.
Well, like stuff that you've been involved with. What do you think is like on the top of the list for things we've captured?
Some of the Estes methods that we've done have been really impactful for me. I think that they come like
for all of us.
I feel like we've gotten some of the strongest evidence in places as a result of that particular method.
And I'm right there with you, Aaron. I'm very big on the Estes method recently. And I think it's been ever since that train station that we talked about. Yeah.
The train station is the first one that popped into my mind. Like when we're on an investigation, when we finally get to the point where we feel comfortable enough in a space that we can pull out the Estes, I feel like we're finally we're digging in and really getting somewhere.
It's definitely a big stepping stone. I mean, it's also a confidence thing. When we all kind of come to the conclusion that there's something here, there's something that wants to talk to us. Yeah. We have a lead, we have something to go off of. That's when we end up tapping into that, and it definitely for us has lived up to expectations. But if you think about the Estes, not to go off on a whole tangent here, the way that we do them is we capture both sides of things, right? So we don't just take, and we've learned from this. Yes. We have had experiences with people under the Estes that what were some of the percentages that were pulled out? I'm confident in 75% of what I heard, and then we say we record this and it drops down to maybe only 15%. So knowing that we record these things, you're not faking it. You can't just say whatever you want to say because it's there on the other side too, on the audio.
Yeah, and that's something that I
like how we do it too. I think that gives me the confidence in it as well. Like there's so much of what we do that is really just interpretation, and granted that is interpretation as well, but doing it blind and without any of the sensations that you know what I mean, when we're doing it blind with the sensory
noise
deprivation
canceling
happening. Yeah, exactly. Like it really gives credence to what we're seeing there and what we're experiencing there, because the ability to cut down on that contamination by using those methods, by doing it in the way that we do is, you know what I mean?
I think it makes a big difference. Absolutely.
Yeah, but then even in like the Estes method's a good one, right? I mean, because it is as isolated of a method as I can think that we have, that it brings a technology in that, is extremely difficult at times to understand what words are coming through. But Derek, you've become very, very good from listening to thousands of hours probably of spirit box sessions.
I think that's a big part of it, is being
Right.
able to listen through and hear through the static, and that can become overwhelming.
Right.
But yeah,
So-
listening through these things as much as I do, cutting these audios down and trying to clean them up,
Mhm.
I end up having an ear for it. And I'm not saying that it's my specialty, but I've done it so many times that I can pick out some of the changes in the static, right?
Mhm.
What do you think?
And
Dan?
it's well, I think that like that the SDs 100% I agree is like where everything's going right now for me as far as like where I put a lot of weight. I will tell you, I don't put weight in the SDs method when we review it after the fact. My weight on it is when we are in the moment, when you were saying things that are coming out of that spirit box, because now that we are recording both ends, right? So we have developed, I don't want to say that we developed a method, but we kind of have, because I didn't know anybody else doing this before we started doing it.
Right.
Was we put a splitter on our spirit box, and now we have one line going to the headphones, and at the same time there is another line picking up that exact same like output from the spirit box that is going to a voice recorder, so that then we can go back in post, so to speak, right? And we can overlay those two audios, so we can hear in real time, in like not in real time, but like whenever you're like doing the evidence investigation or the evidence review, we can hear what you heard at that time, right?
Right.
When I say I believe it in the moment, what you're saying at that time, you don't know what we're asking, right? So your interpretation, even if I can't hear what you're hearing, or Aaron can't hear what you're hearing coming, like we can't make sense of the garbled, gross noises coming out. That doesn't matter to me, because at that time, your brain went with a word for some reason, right?
And it's instantaneous, right? I mean, even if you do listen back to some of these things, when we do put them together, they're seconds apart, right? As soon as something comes through, I just spit it out. It could make no sense. And there are times that it doesn't, and it's like, what do we do with this? I don't know what this means. Can you tell me something else? And, so it doesn't always work. Doesn't always tap into it. They might not understand what we're doing. But you're spot on. It's like it's two different ways of hearing and experiencing these things, and you don't put them together in the moment. You guys in the room, when you're asking the questions, and then you hear me saying whatever it is that I'm saying, that's what you're using to continue the conversation. I know after the fact, I'm not just pulling anything out because it's there. Like you're saying, it's right there in the audio. And, we've come far with that, I would say. We've kind of learned lessons from those things.
Well, we have, but it's bit us, right? It has
100%.
The Estes method has bit us in not being able to trust somebody that we gave the headphones to.
Well, I think that also speaks to our group. Like we originally, most of the time we bring people in, we trust them 100%, and that's on us. Maybe we shouldn't.
Sure.
And it's happened a few times now where, we put full trust in somebody and they prove us to be idiots. Put it that way.
I mean, for lack of a better term, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that it's necessarily being dumb, but it's just
early on naive. Put it that way.
It's just right. It's just part of. Well, it's just part of the process. Like when we don't have certain abilities. Like we can't, hear. I know I can't hear dead people talking.
None of us proclaim to be psychics, right?
Correct. Or
so when somebody,
exactly.
So when somebody does, you almost have to take their word for it.
Yeah, so we kind of do have to, and we use each other as equipment, but we also use other people that come with us and have abilities as equipment, right? That's very much what we have to do. So when we have somebody that has this mediumship ability that we give the Estes to, we're going to believe what they say, and we're also going to ask the question of, what you said, were those things that you heard in the spirit box, or were those things that you what do they call that? Like
intuitive
intuition.
Yes,
intuited, right? Like, was that your skill, your ability, or did you hear it?
Right.
Well, I heard it. Okay, great. Well, we're not trying to catch you. Like, this is a new thing we're trying to do. We now have recordings of that. So that's really cool. Like, now we'll be able to go back and hear that.
Dude,
wait, never mind. Wait, that 60% that I told you was coming through the spirit box, maybe it was actually 10%. Right. So
and when that kind of happens, and they second guess themselves to you because now we have a way to validate things. We're not trying to call anybody out at that time. We're trying to validate things and make sure that our process works. And then all of a sudden, if you feel like we're trying to catch you, there's probably a reason for that.
There's no doubt.
Right. So that's exactly why we kind of made the move towards this, doing it the way we do.
We need to keep our methods as honest as they can be.
100%. Right? We're not trying to make things up. With all this contamination, it's hard not to sometimes. You hear a voice in the other room or you hear footsteps. You have to trust everyone that's there. And I think there's so many times that during these reviews, we clearly say there was nobody in this room. There was nobody else in the building. So we can kind of confirm or validate these noises because we were there. We know this. And we usually chase them, right? Like if we hear a noise in the other room, typically I'm the first person in the other room trying to find out if there was somebody there.
And I promise you, I'll be behind you if you're going in first.
You can smell that demon.
And then, hey, I'll tell you what, I would rather take a demon to the face than actually take a demon home with me.
A demon to the face. Oh, man. New sticker alert.
New sticker alert. So confirmation bias is something that we certainly have to watch, right? Because when you enter into a situation expecting an outcome, you're going to hear it. You're going to see it, especially when you're in the dark and you have, people walking around you that you may or may not have full control of, like where they are in your head and like where they're walking and everything else. Confirmation bias, like, if somebody walks in the back of a video, which we'll talk about a little bit, if somebody walks in the back of a video and you want it to be a shadow figure, it's going to be a shadow figure, right? Like no matter what.
Sure.
So then we have to just go back and fix that.
Then you get into the whole pareidolia aspect of it, right? We want to hear and see these things.
I hate that word, and I love that word.
I do too, because it's always one of those things where in the back of your mind, it's like, is this happening? Am I hearing it? Am I making it up? I mean, our brains are made that way, right? I mean, that's the whole point of that. And it's hard to distinguish them. Very hard.
So, Mr. Pareidolia, because you were the first person I ever heard of this word from. What does pareidolia mean for those uninitiated?
Yes.
So it's what it really is it's our brains creating something. So if you think that you see something, your brain, I mean, it could be a big blob, but your brain is perceiving this to be something that makes sense, right? Whether it be a person or depending on the situation, what it is. You're standing on the street, it could look like a car. It's your brain trying to make this make sense. And it's not just visual, it's also audio. So you can be hearing things. It could be nothing. It could be a water dripping in the other room. But your brain's when we're investigating, your brain could be telling you that's a voice. That's so it's your brain creating these different aspects. Mainly, it's for preservation. It's ingrained in us back from when we were Neanderthals, and they're telling us that there's a predator coming. But that has evolved, and we actually it's all dependent on the situation. But so when we as investigators go into a location like these, and you want to hear something, right? You want your everything's on alert. All of your senses are on high alert. So your brain ends up putting sense to some of these unexplained, unknown things. So sometimes it actually helps. Other times it makes it so much more complicated and confusing, especially in the moment, which is why we try to debunk these things, because we know that's the first instinct from just naturally from our brains telling us that these things are there. So we have to make sure that we're not hearing these false things or seeing these visuals that our brain is just portraying.
And it's so easy. And it's like what I think of specifically when we talk about like visual pareidolia, I automatically think of how long it took us to find and capture spirits in windows, if you remember. Like we used to take so many pictures outside of buildings, and we would never see anything. And everybody's talking like, oh, every time somebody goes to this location, they take a picture of that window and there's a figure standing there, right? We had done that so many times and never gotten anything until all of a sudden every photo we took had spirits in it, right? Because we were forcing ourselves to see these things, and there was like a slight blur or a slight like shadow on one side, and we framed it to ourselves as that's the woman of the house standing there in a dress. Look, it's a flowing dress and all of these things.
You combine that with the confirmation bias of hearing the story, and then the pareidolia where you want to see it, and boom, you have evidence. It's not actually there.
So we're going to leave that on a hanging chad, if you will. Let's go into the ads for a few minutes. When we get back, we're going to talk specific. We have some specific evidence, let's call it, or debunked evidence for what it's worth, that at the time we thought was real, and then we spent a lot of time figuring out that it wasn't. So hang with us. We will be back after a short ad break.
Every ghost story and creature feature lies a far more terrifying truth. The real monsters wear human faces. In the chilling book, All Monsters Are Human, from Derek Smith, 10 Twisted Tales expose the darkest parts of the human soul. From killers hiding in plain sight to obsessions turned deadly. Each story invites you to step into a shadow world where morality unravels, and the only thing more terrifying than what lurks in the dark is who. These aren't just horror stories. They're reflections of ourselves, showing what happens when fear, rage, guilt, and desire take control. Visit nxmedia.com for more information on All Monsters Are Human from Derek Smith. And you can purchase them at Amazon.com from nxmedia.com. The new book, How to Research a Haunted House by paranormal investigator Margie Kay and professional researcher Violet Wisdom, is now available from Unex Media. This one-of-a-kind book explains how to do research on a house with uncommon methods and resources used by historic home researchers, and how to determine who may be doing the haunting and why. How to Research a Haunted House can be used by homeowners, renters, investors, and it should be in the library of all professional paranormal investigators. Get this unique book at unxmedia.com or Amazon.com. That's unxmedia.com or Amazon.com. The truth, it's out there, and it's waiting for you. The Unexplained Network is your source for the best in paranormal programming, live video streaming, and audio streaming from hauntings, UFOs, Bigfoot, cryptids, and the ever-expanding realm of the unexplained. Listen live or on demand now on Spreaker, Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeart, and Pockets all over the World Wide Web. The Unexplained Network, where unexplained lives.
So welcome back. So we were talking right before the break. We want to jump into some things where we, during an investigation, seriously thought we had something. And then as we go back and we kind of like calm ourselves down, I think really is how I want to put that. Once we put ourselves more in our investigation hat rather than our terrified poop our pants hat, then it kind of like the pieces come together, and you put the puzzle together to say that really isn't that, it's actually this other thing that we have an answer for or an explanation.
A lot of the time that happens too, it's usually it starts with one person seeing or hearing something, right? Mm-hmm. Taking a picture of something. So that person all of a sudden gets on this extra level where they're like, oh my God, I captured something, right? Then you, like you're saying, you kind of calm down, you get together as a group, you step away from the space if you need to, and then you kind of show or explain what's going on. And that's happened quite a few times to us, where I think in the end, in the long run, it's definitely for the best, right? So we're not basing anything off of false accusations or false evidence. And we spend the time debunking these things, even if it's something that's, a major story at some of these locations where we think that we captured the figure of the person that's said to be in this exact spot, right? I mean, but you really have to look at these things from all angles, all perspectives, especially when you're getting to know some of the tools or using some of the tools for the first time. And I think that that's kind of been a reoccurring thing for us as a team. When we first introduce new equipment, it takes time to get used to them, right?
Yeah. Before we got on this on the show, we were very briefly talking about this, and Aaron, you brought that up, and I think you're absolutely on to something. Like so many of these what's the word?
Just the specific examples, right?
Examples. Thank you. That was the word that completely fell out of my brain right before I started talking. Like so many of the examples that we're going to discuss were when we were getting used to new equipment and we really weren't sure how it worked, as much as you hate to admit that, right?
Yeah, it takes time though, and every one of the things, ultimately, I'm glad that they happened because then we learn from it. We learned what to look for. Some of the things, are you ever going to go into a situation where there's copper plating somewhere and all of a sudden the REM pod goes off because you think that it's some kind of energy? How are you supposed to know that, right?
Yeah. So specifically, that makes zero sense out of context.
But
right? now that we were going to put context to this, we were at the Harmony Inn north of Pittsburgh, about half an hour north of the city, in a little town of Harmony.
Beautiful little town. A lot of history there.
Yeah, it's a great. Was it Germanic?
Yeah, I believe so. That was the basis.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we were at the Harmony Inn. It's a restaurant, and this was before Erin was with us, but she knows the place. This is something that a lot of people in this area go to.
I've had experiences there while I was there eating, so yeah, definitely.
Which is so cool.
Is that
fun?
And
that's why we need to go back. And so this photo here is the bar in question. This
no
bar,
longer, but it was big time.
Yeah. This bar caused us a lot of wasted time and a lot of
multiple
hopes.
Situations. Yes.
Yeah. So the first one we want to talk about is the fact that this little guy right here. So this is the bar. Obviously, this is a very cheap IR camera that we had when we first
early
started.
on.
So not a great photo, but what it shows is a REM pod sitting on the bar.
Man, we don't even have that REM pod anymore.
We do not. I think it bounced down steps multiple times, and we tripped in the dark and
we tried to fix it. It just didn't. It wasn't going anywhere.
It hung in there for a long time. It did a great job.
It put in some miles for us. Yeah,
it did. But so this bar has a copper clad over top of it. It's like a thin sheet of copper.
Honestly, I don't think it's something that we would have even noticed if it wasn't for looking more into it, right?
Well, if it wasn't for the fact that you have a genius engineer as part of the group.
That's exactly what it was.
That put his fat hand on the bar and then saw the light go off and then thought, huh, and then picked his fat hand up off the bar and
so
then
let me tell you how we debunk things. Dan, put your fat hand there.
Put your fat mitt on that flat surface. Like I know your knees are screaming to hold yourself up. Like put your hand on the bar. So what we found out was this REM pod kept going off, and it was going off.
It was going off when we were asking good questions, right? Like it was intelligent.
Well, yeah. And we were so into it. We were 15, 20 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes of a conversation where we were using the REM pod to answer yes, no questions. And they made sense. It's not like, were you a man? Yes. Were you a woman? Yes. No, they made sense. You put them together and they ultimately created a story, which I don't know how, the odds of that are pretty crazy to me. Well,
but it's leading, right? That's one of those things.
Right. So before we get to what it could have been, right? What we found out that at least some of it was, or a lot of it was you can see in this picture, I think this is Gabe that had his hand on the bar. You can tell because it's not fat. so it's
I don't wear a watch, so
that's true. That's true. So we found that if we would touch a different part of the bar, being it was all one solid piece of copper, the static electricity from us or the resistance difference that we put into the copper sheet whenever we touched it, something happened with it electrically that every time somebody would put a hand down, it would change what the REM pod was seeing and it would set it off.
And
so
what sucks about that is, like you're saying, maybe we did get some real hits on it, but being that happened, we have to cancel the whole thing out.
That's what I was just going to get into was it doesn't matter if it was all us or some of it was us or none of it was us. We have now figured out that we could influence it and we had to wipe all of it.
I was just waiting for Aaron to say those chords.
I was thinking it.
Yeah. So when we lose that evidence, we don't just lose things to show people. We have now lost time being there because we have a limited number of hours that we can be at a location before we have to leave and go back. So it sucks.
You think about it too, then that plays into you like mentally, like a morality standpoint too.
It does.
We just spent how much time here thinking that we got legit answers, and then man, that whole experience, you get like a high when you get these experiences, right? When you get these communications, it's like this dopamine hit, and you get on this next level, and then you want to keep going, and then this happens, and you just want to shut down.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like, to me, it's kind of like going to the zoo at noon. Okay, now hear me out.
I want to know where you're going with this one.
Hear me out. If you go to the zoo at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, it's hot. The animals have eaten already. They're sleeping somewhere. So you pay all this money and you go to the zoo and you see no animals. So it just upsets you, right? You like every time you'd walk past this animal enclosure, you're really upset that this tiger is not out walking around for your entertainment. You're really upset that this other animal is not. Derek, I see you staring at me. I swear I have something going with it.
Keep going. I'm not saying a word.
So after, it's very upsetting for you, right? So then you have to shift and go earlier, and then you see the animals, right? You have to adjust your approach. So when you get things like this, and you do have that euphoric, oh my gosh, something is happening. We have paid $600 to be in this building for 8 hours. It was now all worth it because this spirit has interacted with us for a good solid half an hour. So you go from that, oh my gosh, this is phenomenal, this is worth the price of admission, so to speak. Now we've gotten what we came for, we're good at what we do, let's freaking go. That's very much that initial
That's
feeling.
True. That's very true.
But then when you burn half an hour and you realize that after 30 minutes of you thinking you know what the stink you're doing, and then all of a sudden you go to, when I touch this bar, I set that thing off and now I can't trust it. It really just chaps your butt, right? That was very much where I'm at.
Yeah, because you like we were saying, you can't even say that any of it was legit. Just because, you think about it, you could say 90% of that was, and maybe only these few times where we hit it was not. But you can't even do that. You have to discount the whole thing. That's part of the process.
Yeah, we have no idea.
Right. Yeah. And then, this location was doubled down, right? We got double the letdowns on this one in the same place. And that was my fault.
Yeah. So the REM pod was nobody's fault. That was just
dumb luck.
That was dumb luck. That was physics. That was electricity. That was just something that happened.
Yep.
This other thing was 100% your fault, Derek, and I will never let you forget it.
Yeah, my bad.
Smash the like button if you think Derek sucks. So at the
rename the episode.
So at the very back of this photo on the screen. For those that are viewing it, there's a lit area, which is like the back kitchen part, I believe. It was like the back, like where the waitresses or whatever would go get drinks or food or whatever. Obviously, this was a flash photography that we had taken at the time. So this would have been all dark whenever we were actually investigating. But we did have an IR camera set up here. And the three of us,
like you said, cheap. It was cheap IR camera.
I said three of us, but here I am, Derek. I was putting you in the group of people that does what you're supposed to do during an investigation, and not the person that was off being a jerk,
wandering around
our entire.
I want to say that I was following a sound or something.
You were wandering around.
You were wandering around.
You wandered, Derek. Yeah, I was gonna say, Derek, quit trying to justify what you were doing. It was your fault. No,
you can't sit still.
I can't.
No, you can't.
I'm gonna start bringing a chair with me so I can just.
Doesn't matter. You have gotten chairs before. You still get up and walk around.
You just put the chair on your shoulder and then walk to another place.
I guess even when I am sitting down, I still do the cracking.
You still fidget. Yep,
I fidget. Yeah,
it's so much.
All right, continue with the story.
I was hoping to, but you're ruining this like you ruined this evidence. So we had this IR camera set up in this room in very much the same location where this photo was taken, and Gabe and I were sitting there holding conversations, trying to get some interactions with things, doing some EVPs, doing some REM pod stuff after we moved it off the counter and everything. And then we look back at the video that we had taken after maybe 20 minutes or so. Gabe was reviewing the video while I was moving some stuff around and doing other things. And all of a sudden, Gabe starts freaking out. Look, we got a shadow figure walking in the back part of this room. Well, he very much got excited about it, as he should have. He calls Derek over. Derek comes over. Derek's freaking out. Derek is the guy that ruined it, but also the guy that was hyping it up. So he sees this shadow figure walking back through the kitchen area.
I have a bad sense of direction. I didn't know where it was.
Where they brought the super intelligent.
How would Dan let me forget this one?
Other guy into the conversation of me, and showed me the video, to which I specifically remembered, much like I remember when I fart during an investigation. I also remember when I get really upset at Derek for walking in places where he shouldn't when we're recording. So I specifically remembered to myself, Derek was wandering around like a dementia patient in the back of the kitchen.
Okay, so the restaurant turns into a mental hospital. Continue.
It does, but he was just you were just wandering around in the back of the kitchen. And I specifically remembered to myself, boy, Derek, I hate you right now. I know you're in that video. I know you're going to look like a shadow figure, but I didn't say anything, and shame on me for not saying anything.
That's right. This is all your fault.
Yes,
oh, okay.
It was. I take full responsibility. So, anyways, long story short, Derek, you owe me money for this investigation because you ruined my admission. You took me to the zoo at noon when the animals had eaten and they were sleeping.
There we go. That stupid tiger.
There it is.
So it's very much be at the right place at the right time. Don't be a Derek.
I got nothing.
So we contaminate. So again, we contaminate evidence without even thinking about it, right? And it's normal. Like as much as I joke, it is very normal. It's easy to do. It's so easy to do.
At the first time we went to Irish Towns, and maybe it was the second time where we heard like one of the chains like moving around, and we ended up noticing it was somebody's chain or keys or something. It's something as simple as that can happen that you're just not thinking about it in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's easy to do, and again, we can look back on this and laugh, and it seems silly after.
But in the moment, man.
But in the moment, it's so easy to do. It's so easy to do.
This is also why we've instituted rules whenever we have people that are not familiar with it, or we need to, remind ourselves as well. Like new people come on, we tell them it's so easy when you're in these dark, creepy places to whisper to the person next to you because you don't want to be loud. Like, don't do that. You need to talk up. If you're moving around, shuffling around, anything like that, we call it out for future Derek so he can discount it in the recordings. But that's all based on us having done this and you guys having done this for so long and contaminated evidence to the point where you're trying to figure out if something's real or not. Like
I think we've touched on it before when we did 1810 Tavern, and the people downstairs were just being loud and drunk and obnoxious. And we're sitting there the entire time. Like we knew that was going to contaminate every recorder there.
Yep.
So we're like, we can listen back to this and hear things as much as we want, but with all of their voices down there echoing and carrying through an empty building, that's all you're going to hear, you know?
Yeah.
And we knew that at the moment. And like you're saying, every time we have somebody new that comes in, we almost, I don't want to say we set rules, we set, you know, guidelines that we like to follow and we share with them. But to your point, Aaron, like, a lot of the time it's a natural thing when you're in a space with some people that you don't know and maybe one person you're close to or you come with and you're trying to communicate to them, you are going to whisper because you don't want to raise that. You don't want to have a public conversation between the two of you. But in the moment, we have these recorders running and we know how sensitive they are now. You know, you hear that. You ultimately hear it. You might not hear the conversation, but you're going to hear a voice. And that throws the whole thing off then.
I think we have gotten a little bit better with it, like lately too. Like I feel like even when we don't realize ourselves that we're doing it, there have been times where like one of us has shifted and someone else has called it out too. Like if you're not recognizing that you're making those noises, or shifting around or moving, like just calling it out for the people around us too, to try to get
absolutely, and that helps big time because a lot of the time, like we're saying, how difficult it is, you may not be aware of it,
and it's nobody's fault. Right, it is nobody's fault
except mine.
It's your fault, Derek.
I'm a fidgeter just like you are, Derek. I did the same thing.
It's hard. It's hard to call yourself out on things when you're trying to be quiet and thinking that you're not making this noise or you're not doing this or that, you know. And at the same time, if you're not focused on that either, you're focused on all the nuances, the noises, the conversation you're trying to have. So it is difficult.
Well, and just like I berated you the last 5 minutes for ruining that evidence, but I was making the point I wanted to make was we enjoy taking people with us, right? We enjoy sharing the experiences that we have had over the years doing these kind of things. We are not an entertainment group, right? We do not present ourselves as well.
We are entertaining to ourselves.
That's a different story.
We have fun with it, but at the end of the day, like we can't turn a switch. Like there's nothing about like our experience that allows us to press a button and allow something to happen, right? But people kind of expect that. They expect that of us whenever they go on investigations because we've done it before and they haven't, right?
That there was that time at Blennerhassett Island where
that's exactly what I was thinking, dude.
Go ahead, then you go for it. You tell the story better than I do anyway. It just came to the top of my head.
Go for it.
There's the chords.
It seriously was like I just popped into my head and took it right out.
No, go ahead. You were forefront on that one, man.
Well, no, we had this group. I mean, Derek and I, and as well my sister, had the opportunity to assist Hidden Marietta in the island investigation. We've done episodes just about Blennerhassett Island. There was a group there of fairly intoxicated individuals.
They were camping. I mean, they turned it into a camping trip with a little ghost stuff. Like
and they wore shirts specifically that said they were just blank shirts, and it said one thing on it, said "Got Ghosts," right? And it was like "Got Milk," but "Got Ghosts."
All you need to know.
And you could tell from the very get that these people were just in it looking at us as the guest investigators or the assistant investigators with Hidden Marietta, that they were going to look to us and we were going to hit a switch and there was going to be a ghost that popped out in front of them. And when they didn't get that, they got really upset.
They started heckling and mocking and
they ruined the experience for a lot of other people that were
I was going to say,
room.
It wasn't just us. It was a lot of people that were there.
They paid good money to be there, and these people just expected us to show them a good time.
What was one of the things they said? Where's the ghosts? Or why didn't you bring the ghosts out? Or it was something stupid. Like
I don't even remember. It was
something along those lines.
It upset me so much that I just don't even want to think about it.
I think we ended up walking away anyway.
We did. We had to, right? So we did. We came up to Aaron's point. We came up with rules, not to be like, investigation police or anything, but we did. We came up with like rules of, hey guys, we've been through this. Here's what we recommend doing. Right. If you want to make the best out of this situation, you want to maximize the output of this investigation, here's some things to do, right? So Aaron, you talked about it. Don't whisper to each other, right? That's a big no-no, because guess what also whispers? EVPs. right? I wish a ghost would grab our recorder and pull it towards their ghostly mouth and just be like,
hello.
I would like you to make me a salami sandwich. Like, I wish it was that. I wish it was that simple to just, be able to pick it up immediately.
They could be like the Gill House and ask for a pepperoni pizza. That would be nice too, because I would share.
I love that. I love that conversation, and we'll talk about that in a future episode. But we wish I was. So EVPs come across as whispers, as people trying not to let you hear them, right? Because of whatever, right? I don't know if we don't know if they're on another plane, another existence, another dimension.
Just the amount of energy that it takes, whatever it is. Yeah.
Sure. So when you talk to another investigator or somebody else in the room, don't whisper. It's okay to speak up and say, hey, I got to go to the bathroom. That barbecue I had wasn't sitting well with me, right? Or, hey, I think I just heard a noise in the other room. Don't go, I think I heard a noise in another room.
Wait, there was a ghost right there.
Yeah, yes. Like, don't do that, because we're going to listen back to it on these recorders that are pretty darn sensitive. And it's going to pick it up. And it's going to be this little mousy voice just in the background saying like something. And then we have to figure out what that is. And if we don't have the context of it to know that somebody was talking, then we're kind of stuck on it being real. Right.
Yeah. And the amount of time that it takes us in the moment when we hear that, sometimes, we'll review it there and you can't clean it up. You can't enhance it while you're there and you're just listening to it. So you have to take it for what it's worth. And if no one's the good thing is most people will own up like, sorry, that was me, so at least you can save some time there. But it's those occasions where somebody's almost embarrassed of the situation where then it throws the whole thing off, because then you're basing something off of nothing.
Yeah. So the next thing is, so don't whisper. The next thing is if you creak a floorboard, if you shuffle your feet, call it out. Just out loud say, that was me. Or you can even say, you can pick a word. You can say macaroni. I don't care what you say. Just say something that's so off the wall.
It's like a safe word.
It just doesn't fit. Yeah, it just doesn't fit the situation. So it's going to be like, in the future, Derek's going to listen to it here. Crack macaroni, that was somebody, right? Whatever.
That's all we need to know. That's all we need to know.
I think we're doing that from now on. The safe word is now macaroni.
I love that.
I'm telling you.
Where's your bottom third for that one?
Yeah, the safe word is now macaroni. So then another thing just to do is not expect anything, right? Don't look at us like entertainers. We don't balance balls on our noses. We don't breathe fire. We don't juggle. We don't do those things.
Sometimes we kick balls. I mean,
we do. Derek,
my bad.
Kick balls. Derek kicked the ball before we thought it was paranormal. We were going to talk about that, but we ran out of time. It is what it is, right?
That's right.
But I think those are the rules. I mean, it's really not that difficult to just do the right thing when you're investigating. There's certain etiquette that needs to be followed.
Well, and there's a respect to, we always talk about it, a respect to the spirits there, to the building, to the location, to the history. There's also a respect to us, the amount of time and effort that we put into these things as well, right? And that's always one of those things that is annoying whenever you go into these like public places where they don't know you, they owe you nothing. So we don't get that respect right off the bat. But in these smaller places, we know everybody somehow. You know them, or I know them, Aaron knows them, somebody knows them personally. So they have that almost, built-in respect factor. So that makes it easier.
Yeah. So guys, guess what? We're out of time. We're out of time. It's that magical witching hour that we run into all the time. This was a good episode. I'm excited about our investigation coming up this weekend.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of people going with us for the first time, which is going to be exciting and great to shed light on what we do for them.
Some people coming back around.
Yeah. Absolutely. And just like the whole area, the whole vibe of the building is incredible. I'm super excited for you to experience it, Aaron.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah. So guys, thank you so much. Until next time. Tonight we asked what was hiding in the darkness. Maybe we discovered something stranger, the things that were hiding in ourselves. Question your evidence, trust your instincts, and verify everything. Keep your minds open, your recorders running, and we'll see you next time on the other side of the bridge. Thank you for making it back safely. Have a great night. We'll talk to you next time.
Thanks, guys.
Toodles.